friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Video 508. Jack in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, as we proceed to give you what you need, it is another Wednesday. So y'all know who we about to go back to. Mike from that chapter. That chapter Wednesdays, y'all. It is always a delight when we get to do what? Go back to Mike. And the title of the video is How a Manipulator's Jealous Plot Had a Shocking Twist. Now, I'm just wondering, y'all, did, like, at the end of this freaking story, the manipulator, at the end of the day, got effed over? You know what I'm saying? Like, did they think they got away with it, but come to find out they didn't, and they was shocked like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but I'm ready to find out. But before we find out, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We back to Mike from that chapter. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Has he done this all by himself, Bianca? Or have you somehow encouraged him?
I didn't. I didn't encourage him. I didn't.
This is a guy that went to jail for attempted murder. And you're believing him.
Do what you need to do. Concentrate, don't stuff up, pay attention.
Yeah, I will. I love you.
I know.
And can we have sex tomorrow night?
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, we are off to the land down under. No accent this time. I really do mean it. This is a love story, but like in the worst possible way. You know, we have love triangles we talk about pretty common on that chapter, but this one takes the cake. Or the Fosters, or whatever. This is about a person who had just unbelievable powers of persuasion, who could get people to do whatever she wanted. She could get people to do the absolute unthinkable, and that was all she thought about. Before we get into it, please click that little old subscribe button to see new videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you may need.
Let me begin.
And before Mike start, y'all, I just gotta say, the very first scene of whoever this lady is, who I'm sure we about to find out who exactly she is, the very first scene of her doing that crying, those was crocodile tears. Like goddamn Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles can see through that shit. A blind man can see through that was fake ass crying that she was doing. Let's go.
This old one right at the very beginning with our Bianca, and boy oh boy, Rocky, what a Sheila she. See, Bianca Edmonds was born in 1986 in Tasmania, Australia, but as an early teen she moved with her mom and half-siblings to Melbourne, where our story today, folks, takes place. More specifically, the suburban area of West Meadows. It's northwest of downtown, it's mostly residential, and boasts a approximate population of about 6,500 people. It's a pretty diverse and multicultural part of the city. 20% of the population belongs to those who settled from elsewhere outside of Oz, most either being from the UK or Italy. There's this Italian-English vibe going on. North of it lies Melbourne Airport, and it has plenty of areas for outdoor sports and recreation. More so of the soccer and cricket variety. According to TripAdvisor, one of the top 5 things you can do in West Meadows is, wait for it, you don't have to wait any longer, I'm gonna tell you, get the shuttle to the airport. Nothing says great things to do here like get the f*** out. Now Bianca Big B, Queen Bee in her mind, Her upbringing, according to court documents, is quite tough, quite disruptive, but not really a whole amount is known about her. I suppose it is very hard to know about a vicious insect's early life. But the thing is about Big B over here is that even if she told you, you wouldn't believe her. Sadly, one Buchel who did, he believed it hook, line, and sinker was Michael Caposiana.
Oh,
Michael
shit.
was 4 years older than Bianca, a man from a large family. Michael and Bianca met in early 2013 and fell in love. After getting engaged, they quickly got pregnant, and in 2014, their son, Luca, was born. However, they had separated before his birth. Things had not been going well for a while between the two. It's said that Bianca was controlling and manipulative, and you know what I mean, you use the term, it's said, as in, like, allegedly. No, she was. She was controlling and manipulative. Once Michael caught on to the abuse, he shut that shit down coast to coast. She was heard bragging to her friends that she could manipulate our Mikey to do whatever she wanted to do. Mick was not having it. So once he took that power away, she got bored. You know, talking about Bianca, I have this image of a giant spider, I mean it is Australia, who like spins these webs out to all these marionettes. And once the marionette cuts the line, she just gets very, very annoyed and very, very mad. She'll spin a web to get another one, but she will never, ever forget. So, as you can imagine, the separation was hostile. It's in...
Like, Mike keep referring to her as like a freaking insect, like a bug, and now more specifically, he calling her a spider, like a spider that just keeps spinning up webs, and he probably talking about her lives and manipulation and just doing all this different stuff to different folks. This is gonna be crazy finding out about this woman, how Mike just setting it up.
Bianca wanted full custody of their child and wanted Michael to have zero contact with their son. Michael was allowed to see their son with supervised visits just once a week at first. He was then granted unsupervised visits in early 2016, and his last supervised visit was on March 11th. Booty. He would never get to experience that freedom with his son because the very next day his life was very tragically, unexpectedly, and violently ended.
Oh!
Glenn Cassidy was born in 1973. He was the father of 2 adult daughters already by the time he met Bianca in 2015. He worked as a heavy vehicle operator. Now Glenn, I'd say poor Glenn, but I mean he was very gullible, to the extreme, and kind of like a stereotypical doof. Reports say that, you know, he was not a very smart guy, sharp as a cue ball. This lad. So Bianca and Glenn, they met on Tinder in 2015. Glenn was quite a bit older than Bianca herself, being 20 years her senior. Whatever the motivation or attraction there, things between the two moved quickly, and by February 2016, they were married. Probably the most attractive thing I have to say for Bianca was how easy Glenn was to manipulate and get her to do her bidding. And unlike Michael, Glenn was all too eager. See, behind the honeymoon stage that Bianca and Glenn were in, was the rising tensions between Bianca and her ex, Michael. And Glenn, he was her knight in shining armor. He would take any, you know, things said against Bianca very, very personally. He was ready to jump in the middle and fight Michael, you know, fight for his lady's honor, you know, all that sort of stuff. Now, he's likely spoon-fed a lot of anger from Bianca about what kind of guy Michael is, but Glenn was all too eager to defend her, believe anything she said, all that kind of shit. He wasn't exactly, you know, saying, okay, there's a history between you two, maybe I should just kind of stay out of it. No sorry, Bob. Poor Glenn, always ready to jump in to defend his lady's honor. Only problem was that Bianca was no lady. As I said, I view her, you know, as a spider. A giant spider, like a huntsman spider, which they have in Australia, which are giant spiders. Bianca was definitely a huntsman.
That's fucked. Holy shit.
Oh my god, there's so many of them. Oh, there it is! Fuck!
What the fuck?
Now, the issue at hand was simply the custody of their shared son, Luca. Bianca had it in her mind that Michael didn't deserve any time with her son, but he had proven that not only did he want more time, but he was making the necessary steps to be a responsible and present father. Any wins that Michael got just seemed to anger Bianca more, which then angered Glenn more.
And see, Glenn in this situation, y'all, he is a dangerous mother, you know what. But the reason I say that is because if a person is in love, he or she is in a relationship with someone and they that head over heels for this person where they believe that they ish don't stink And they would do anything, even if they know the ish stink, they still would do anything to protect them, fight for their honor. They'll die for them, or they'll kill you for them. That is a dangerous freaking person, man, especially when they know that this person do have some evil ish going on, is this not good of a person, but through their eyes they don't see none of that. All they see is, I love this person to death, and they mean literally. Let's go. Glenn is dangerous in this situation, y'all.
It was on March 12th, 2016 that Glenn Cassidy drove roughly 2 hours from his home in Shepparton to West Meadows, a 2-hour drive, and parked his car on Riddle Street, just a few blocks away from Michael's home. He walked on foot to the home and scoped it out, ensuring Michael was there. Once he was sure that he was, as you can see on CCTV footage, he walked back to his car, and one can only guess that he armed himself and then returned to Michael's house. What happened next is absolutely crazy, and it really seems like Glenn made absolutely no effort whatsoever to hide his tracks. Almost as if he knew what was going to happen. But I mean, he is an idiot, so... But if you wanted to hide your tracks virtually, I mean...
Mike gone to a commercial, y'all. But the thing that I was just thinking about in that moment while Mike was just talking, y'all, is like, this dude is the type of guy, I'm talking about Glenn. He is the type of guy that would kill, I think the dude named Michael, the baby daddy, the first guy she was with, Bianca was with. He is the type of motherfucker who will kill him, go to prison for it, be locked up for life, but still be in love with Bianca. He'll still be head over heels for her. You know what I'm saying? Thinking like they still gonna have a relationship or whatever. This is already just turning out terrible, and we really just getting started, y'all. We got a bit more to go. Let's get through Mike commercial. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to what it is, NordVPN / Mike from that chapter. And let's go.
Chapter to get a 2-year plan and also 4 months for free on top. All with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Thank you so much to NordVPN for supporting that chapter. Now, how about you and I? We get back to it. Glenn was walking up to Michael's home, and it's gonna get wild. At that very moment, Michael and his new girlfriend, Silvana, they were inside his house, just chilling, watching TV, and they heard a on the door. Michael kind of peeked out the curtains, saw Glenn standing at his front door, and was like, oh hell, here we go. Right? This is probably not gonna end well. Michael actually went back into his kitchen. He grabbed a knife, ready to defend himself, because he knew that Glenn was Bianca's attack dog. So he was ready. Walked over to the door, opens the door, and Glenn is standing there. Now, what exactly happened next, we're not sure. But Silvana would say she herself peeked out the window and saw on the front porch Glenn and Michael yapping away to each other. And she said it seemed like they were like making friends. They were kind of smiling at each other. It was like they were apologizing to each other for the last couple of months of pure shite. And at one point, they even shook hands with each other. However, that was when Glenn sprung into action and he pushed Michael inside his own house and pulled out a gun, which was a sawed-off shotgun, pointed at Michael's head. But before Glenn could even pull the trigger, Michael sprung into action with a knife. He stabbed Glenn twice in the chest. Shots were fired. Michael went down. Glenn shot him in the head with a sawn-off shotgun. So it would have been messy. As Michael hit the ground and there was gunshot smoke in the air, Glenn realized there was two problems right there. See, Glenn was bleeding everywhere, extremely profusely from his chest. That's one problem. The second problem was that Savannah was standing right there and had witnessed the entire event. So Glenn then aimed his shotgun at her, pulls the trigger. It goes click, because Glenn had only loaded the shotgun with 1 bullet. That doesn't stop him. He throws the shotgun aside, grabs Silvana, and starts bashing her head on the steps. Neighbors who had overheard all of this, they quickly intervened. They pulled Glenn off Silvana. Silvana, she managed to get away. She began life-saving efforts on Michael, but there was no life left to be saved. Glenn...
Man, that is a crazy turn of events.
Crawled outside and quickly lost consciousness from his wounds. However, before he passed away, he had these last words. Tell the kids I love them. Tell Bianca I love her. I shot Michael. Wow. Paramedics arrived, and in a moment of confusion, Silvana was actually arrested under suspicion of killing both men. Now remember, her brains are practically hanging out because she had just had her head bashed on a step. But police quickly realized what had happened and they let her go.
The police crazy as hell. I'm not gonna even go on a tangent about that. I'm just gonna talk about what I was talking about earlier, y'all. When I was like, Glenn can be one of those ones. He seemed like one of those ones. Even if he go to prison for this, he's still gonna be in love with Bianca even after that fact. He goddamn lost his life. Like I was talking about. He took it to that extreme. Lost his life over his love for this woman. Like, man, some people, and Glenn may be one of those ones, man, and there are people out here, I'm not gonna act like there are not people out here who do have those type of mental issues where they're easy to manipulate and stuff. You know what I'm saying, man? As sad as that is, there are grown adults that go through stuff like that, man, and it seemed like he was one of those ones. It's sad, but it's just like, wow, dude. I don't know, y'all. It's just, I know life can't be perfect. I know life will never be perfect, but it's certain things that you just wish humans didn't have to go through. As far as like being mentally ill. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, y'all. Let's keep going before I keep going on my tangent.
To say the police were shocked when they arrived would be an understatement. They had 2 dead men, 1 heavily injured woman, and no idea what had happened. The 2 men had killed each other. But why? Crikey, Mr. Policeman thought to himself. They had 1 dead bogan, and someone had cracked the shits. Fair dinkum? I have no idea what I just said. As they began their investigation, they spoke with Silvana about what she had witnessed, and they searched Glenn and his vehicle. A hand-drawn map stained with blood was found on Glenn's body at the scene of the crime. A bloodied baseball cap that read, "Fear the Reaper." Big Sons of Anarchy fan he was. And a saran-wrapped schnitzel dinner were found on the passenger seat of his car. Nothing like a meal on the go after committing a murder. His phone also had incriminating text messages back and forth between Bianca and him. 1 text message came under scrutiny and was suspected to be written by Bianca as the style was completely different. Along with perfect spelling and 0 mistakes, it's believed that Bianca sent herself this message, absolving herself of didn't have anything to do with this. Like the way it's almost hilariously worded. Bianca, I love you so much. You have no idea. I'm about to do something you would consider absolutely effing stupid, but I can't put up with this shit anymore. I can't be a part-time parent to Luca. If I get caught, I want them to know you had nothing at all to do with this. This is my choice, my decision. You know nothing about it. Please. I can see the stress of you losing our first baby due to him, and I could never forgive him for that. Like, hilariously written, because it's so obvious it's for others to read. My choice, my decision. You know nothing about it. Well, she does now. On Glenn's phone, they would also find a to-do list. But whereas most people might find an errand list of groceries or mundane tasks to complete, Glenn's was rather different. It also showed his complete lack of literacy. My favorite part? Have baby, or at least be pregnant. Have as much sex as possible. I think that's on most people's lists, Glenn. Investigators would also find recorded calls between Glenn and Bianca where they are clearly, you know, discussing doing something like hardened spies, talking in code. They ain't any of that. But that's not all. It's probably the most cringe. Like, I feel like when I'm listening to it, I'm gonna cringe out of existence because Glenn, he keeps telling Bianca how much he loves her. And Bianca is just like, yeah, great. Really just like begging for sex. She must have been like real good.
You know what? I've never, ever loved someone like I love you. I bet you look beautiful. I bet you look beautiful.
Hello.
I bet you look beautiful.
Oh. Yep.
I love you.
I know. Just don't get all funny after the job.
No.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
No, that won't.
I mean, I know it's a pretty mental job that you're doing, but physically and mentally and all that, don't hurt yourself. Do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try.
Fresh you makes a calm me.
I am completely over this job. I'm over it. It's got to be.
Well, just finish it. Let the future be better.
And can we have sex tomorrow night?
I don't know. It depends if we're celebrating or not.
Oh. See?
Bye.
I love you.
Enjoy your job.
Yeah, I love you.
Concentrate.
I love you.
Concentrate. Don't stuff up. Pay attention.
Yeah, I will. I love you.
I know.
Man, that man said I love you about 100 times in that goddamn phone call, y'all, and she never said I love you back because she don't love him. I don't know, y'all. I don't even know if she really giving him the okay. Hide the kids real quick. Cut it off. Hide the kids because we finna go a little X-rated. I don't know if she even giving him the pussy. I'm just gonna go and put it out there, man. I don't know if they even having sex, man. At this point, he probably never even got to smell it, but he head over heels for her and crazy in love with her, and she don't love him at freaking all. She just want him to do this job and he ready to do the job. Or she might be giving him a little something every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Because she said, I don't know, if you do it then maybe we can celebrate or whatever. But that's besides the fact, man. Just hearing that, you can just hear that she don't give a damn about this damn man. And another crazy part that I just gotta throw out there too, y'all, is she got this guy. She want this guy. She is having this guy kill her baby's father. We got to keep that in mind too, man. This is your goddamn child daddy that you haven't been killed. Wow, man. It's so many different layers to these freaking murders, y'all. Let's go.
You know he murdered this guy, but you kind of can't help but pity him, as he just sounds so pathetic.
Detectives are still trying to unravel the murders of two men in 2016. A navy blue Holden Apollo could be the vital clue as to what happened during the double homicide. A 49-year-old Shepparton man died after he was stabbed at a home in West Meadows. A 38-year-old man suffered a fatal gunshot to the head during the altercation. A 40-year-old woman was also injured and taken to hospital. It's believed the fatal incident was instigated by another person who wasn't present. Anyone with information is urged to contact police.
So Glenn took the rap for the murder, even though there was a lot of dodgy shit there, and it was a tale of murder and self-defense gone bad. For almost a year, that's how the story was sold. However, that's not to say the police didn't have their suspicions. Detectives were sure that Glenn was ordered to do this. But when questioning Bianca, they got sweet F all out of her.
Has he done this all by himself, Bianca? Or have you somehow encouraged him?
I didn't. I didn't encourage him. I didn't.
I wanted to see if I can get you to explain to me as much detail as you can.
I don't remember the day. I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't remember the day. I know we had a little fight, but it wasn't even a big fight.
Okay.
It was just... I don't know, it wasn't even a huge fight. I'd just gotten back a few days before from Darwin because I took his mum back.
Okay. What's going through Glenn's mind is really important for us to try and understand why this incident has unfolded, why it's happened in the first place. So, if we can piece together what he's doing, particularly just prior to the incident, then it might shed some light on why it happened. So
my parents have spoken to me about this. They're like, maybe he got pushed to his limits. Everything with his girls and his ex and Michael and work and his mum being sick and him being sick with his cancer, and I think everything just, I don't know.
Yeah.
He had enough? I don't know.
But in terms of his actual ability to read and write properly, wasn't that? How would you describe it? Was it?
He avoided it.
Okay. You felt a bit uncomfortable.
He avoided it at all costs.
So my question: did you type that text message?
I did not type that message.
So you denied that you sent that text message from Glenn's phone? Okay.
I did not type it.
Okay. I'm just asking you that you can either agree with it or disagree with it.
I did not type it. I did not type it.
That's all I'm asking you. And you can respond how you choose, or not at all.
And I know you spelled Luca's name wrong.
Yes. Okay. So you deny sending that text message?
Yes.
You say that you've never purchased a firearm?
I've never bought a firearm.
Okay. You've never shown anybody a firearm in the lead up to this?
No.
Okay. Have you ever asked anyone to kill Michael for you?
No.
Okay. You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just absurd.
Well, again, it's just a question for you. It's a question for you. You can either accept it or reject it. It's as simple as that. That's all this process is about. Okay? What would he possibly have to gain, personally? What would he have to gain?
He would have gone to jail.
Correct.
He would have lost us as well.
Correct. So
He wanted us. He hated being a part-time. He called himself a part-time parent to Luca. Yet I'm the one that fought so hard to make it so it was okay. One weekend a month we were looking at for him to have him during the day, and it had to be up at Shepparton where we were. So I'm the one that tried to make things as easy as possible for people, because he wanted a long time. He wanted weekends already in Melbourne as well. I was the one that went to court heaps, negotiating everything to the point where we were both almost happy with the result.
did you ever...
I just gotta point out real quick, y'all. This bitch here is exhausting the hell out of me, man. With her lies, her fakeness. Like, long story short, short story long, she is full of a lot of sugar, honey, iced tea right now. Seriously, man. And she draining my energy out, y'all, with this BS that's coming out of her mouth.
Say in front of Glenn that you wish Michael was dead? And
no, I've never wished anyone dead.
Really?
I wish people would just F off, and we were going to hopefully go to Darwin and just try and, live normal.
So if you never wish nobody dead, then what the hell was that phone conversation you was having with Glenn and you was talking about do the job? What was the job? Come on, man. She killing me, y'all. Like, this bitch is getting on my fucking nerves.
So you've never indicated to Glenn that you wish Michael was dead?
I doubt it.
Well,
because I'm not a psycho.
Hell, even Bianca benefited from this entire incident financially, if you can believe that. After this whole thing, Bianca sued Michael's estate, and Silvana, who was the beneficiary of it, had to pay Bianca $370,000. I guess Bianca was suing Michael's estate for like child support, even though he was dead. So Silvana literally paid her boyfriend's killer, or the person who organized her boyfriend's murder. After the deaths, Bianca, she didn't waste any time at all. No, YOLO, don't waste any time. She was back on Tinder, looking for her next victim. She came across her next partner, with whom she moved in fairly quickly. Now keep in mind, she had just been awarded a handsome sum of money, but hadn't been arrested yet. This new
I was just about to say that, man. This bitch can't stop. This bitch, yeah, I'm calling her the B word from now to the end of this story now, because now we know her true character. This bitch, goddamn, she got away with, well, I ain't gonna say she got away with, but so far she has got away with freaking murder. And not only that, she has got a lot of money by suing the person that she got murdered. And she still got the audacity to look like try it again with somebody else. Some people they ain't doing it for the money. They just doing it because they freaking evil. And Bianca is one of those. She just doing all this shit because she just a fucking asshole. I'm sorry, y'all. I told y'all to go hide the kids way earlier, man. As these stories go on, sometimes I just get pissed more and more off. Let's go.
Partner was Todd Bookham. Todd Bookham, talk about a winner. He had just done 8 years in prison for slitting his girlfriend's throat. She survived. Slitting his girlfriend's throat, stabbing his sister in a drug-induced psychosis. So Bianca decided that, yep, this is her knight in shining armor. This is the man she wants to get pregnant with. And they decide, after just a couple of months, to do just that. She told Todd that Glenn had passed away from cancer the previous year. But then the shit really hits the fan when Todd saw Bianca in the news about the whole murder mystery that had just happened. He then confronted Bianca and she reportedly told him everything about what had really happened. Glenn obviously wasn't supposed to die. She had been sending these text messages to cover it all up. She had even drawn that map to his house. Todd would say that as she was admitting this, she had a full-on mental breakdown. At one point, Bianca even held a knife to her own throat, saying it was all too much. Unfortunately, it wasn't. The relationship sadly ended. Investigators, however, were still investigating the murder mystery. they began to close in on Bianca in the spring of 2018. The detective, as you can see here, calmly asking her questions, and then responding to her obvious bullshit with a, okay? You can almost hear her gears grinding.
I'm of the opinion that you drafted that text message.
I did not write that.
I
didn't.
That's fine.
But if that's something that I did not write that message.
We spoke about the map.
Yes, and I had not seen that map before you showed me that day.
Your fingerprints have been found on that map.
Oh, I thought paper. It's probably from anywhere in the house.
Okay. A single sheet of paper.
We have paper, loose paper everywhere. The kids draw on them. Loose papers everywhere.
Okay.
I did not see that map before you showed me.
Okay. We have got your DNA. It's on gun.
Yeah, but you told me it could be any reason because it's on Glenn.
I've also taken a statement from a man by the name of Todd Bookham, who you previously lived with.
Yes.
And he tells us a story of a conversation he has with you after you were released. Did you have a conversation with Todd regarding the plan to kill Michael?
My plan? No, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. I didn't have a plan.
Did you have a conversation with Todd regarding the custody issues you were having with Luca?
There was no custody issue at the time. We were doing mediation.
Did you have a conversation with him regarding the money from Michael's estate?
I know I was going through, I don't remember a conversation with him, but I know I was going through it at the time, the process. So I don't know if he heard anything or, why would I talk to someone I barely even know about such important things?
Did you have a conversation with him about the map? And how
No, because I didn't know about the map until you showed me. This is a guy that went to jail for attempted murder.
Yep.
And you're believing him.
Damn sure ain't believing your lying ass.
What can you tell me about that text message?
Well, since just recently I've been thinking about it, since I found his phone again, I'm thinking, I remember you questioned me, did I write that, did I type it?
Did you type that
No,
text message?
I did not type that message.
And it's been racking my brain, and I was thinking, how do I prove this? So I went over how I type and how he types.
Yep.
He spelled Luca's name wrong, and there's no full stops or commas.
Did you help Glenn plan to go to Melbourne
No.
and kill Michael?
No.
Yes. Yes.
You sure?
I do not plan to kill anyone.
And it was in June 2019 that Bianca was arrested and tried for the murder 3 years after the deaths of Michael and Glenn. She was arrested for organising Michael's murder, but there's really no two ways about this entire case and this entire story. Bianca Edmonds was responsible for 2 deaths, 2 murders. She is absolutely responsible for Glenn's murder as she is for Michael's. She had him wrapped around her little pinky. While awaiting trial, Bianca had been in shared cells with 2 different prisoners who were later witnesses in her trial, and they came forward to testify that Bianca had admitted and even bragged to them about how she used kinky sexual acts, sexual manipulation, and control to get Glenn Cassidy to agree to murder her ex-partner, Michael Capociana.
I love you.
I know.
According to them, she admitted to tying up Glenn, holding a loaded gun to his head, and then sucking on the gun. While he was tied up, she would also make him tell her how he was gonna, kill for her, and she wouldn't let him, bust, until she repeated it back to him, which is honestly kind of hilarious.
A Shepparton mother at the centre of a deadly love triangle is fighting a murder charge. Bianca Edmonds wasn't at the crime scene, but she's accused of masterminding a lethal plot.
Bianca Edmonds is accused of ordering her husband to murder her former partner. It's alleged she sent Glenn Cassidy to Michael Capo-Sienna's home with a gun. The men ended up killing each other in front of Capo-Sienna's girlfriend, Silvana Silva.
Bianca endured 3 trials in total. The first was in June 2022 when the jury failed to reach a unanimous verdict. Her next trial was in August 22 and was dismissed due to issues with closing arguments. Her third and final trial concluded in December 2022. Bianca's fingerprints were found on both the hand-drawn map found in Glenn's possession at the crime scene and on the sawed-off shotgun. And let's not forget the recorded phone call between Bianca and Glenn about the job, and the text messages she admitted to others having written on Glenn's phone. And of course the motive around custody of their shared son. It all didn't really work out too well for Bianca. However,
it didn't work out good for her at all, man. Like, it's so much evidence pointing towards you, Bianca, and you still got the audacity to act like you ain't do it. Give me a fucking break.
She did plead not guilty. Looks like everyone saw through her bullshit, and she was found guilty on 2 counts of murder and sentenced to 26 years behind bars. She'll be up for parole in around 20 years. It's been reported that Bianca is having a quote-unquote rough time in prison, so shucks for her. And also, get this, folks, she's found a new guy. You know,
wow.
She's actually getting married again. In the slammer. What a lucky guy. I don't know if he's a fellow prisoner or just one of those weird quacks who writes prisoners. But someone's pumping her tires, and Bianca is loving it. I can only imagine she's gonna have him like break her out of jail or something, like break her out of prison or something like that. There's gonna be some effed up S in this. But there you go. I mean, here, listen, she must be really good at sending voice messages. Shanae. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the absolute world to me that you're watching this whole video. If you're looking for more of That Chapter, please check out the That Chapter podcast, which has a new episode out every single Monday, and they're all completely fresh, different stories to these all videos. You can check out the That Chapter Patreon, where for $2 a month you get early access videos, and there's a whole playlist of exclusive Patreon-only videos there as well. And yeah, I'm on, Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, so give it a go. But until the next video, which will be up in a couple of days, please take care of each other and yourselves, because I love you. Mike out.
Another great video from Mike, y'all. I really enjoyed this one, man. And boy, all I can say about Bianca is she is really fucking crazy in the freaking head, y'all. And she got one of those uncanny traits that certain people have from these videos that we watch. And y'all know what I'm saying when I say it. So let me just say it. There are certain people in the world that just have this uncanny ability to be able to manipulate a lot of different people. Like, they just have that Jim Jones touch about them. I ain't even trying to be funny, but if you know who I'm talking about, don't drink the Kool-Aid, Jim Jones. Like, they just have that ability to make people think that they shit don't stink, or no matter how much the shit look like it stink, you still think it smell like roses. Like, for real, shout out to Outkast. If you know, you know. But what I'm trying to say for real, y'all, on another whole serious note is, rest in peace to both of those guys, man. Because Glenn, he wrong for doing that. He wrong for killing Michael. You know what I'm saying, man? He is completely 100% wrong for that. But like Mike said, in a way, it's like she the one who did both of the killing, because I seriously think Glenn is one of those people in this world, like I spoke about earlier, and I wish that there wasn't people in this world like this. But some people really do have freaking mental problems, and he had one. Seriously, to let her manipulate him like that, he had a real freaking mental problem, and it was enough evidence to back that claim up. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that freaking phone call, for one, man, he's sitting up there begging for the P word. I done calm down now. I ain't gonna even say the word, but he begging for the P word. You know what I'm saying? From her, he telling her he love her, and she not giving him no play, not giving him no action, no nothing, and he willing to go kill her freaking babies, daddy, to try to get some, so to speak, or whatever, man. It just this was crazy, y'all. This one here was absolutely freaking crazy, man. Bianca was on some manipulating type ish, and it ain't like she just was doing it to one guy. She had a history of it, and now she in freaking prison. Think about this, man. She in prison after all this shit she done did that been recorded, been documented, and you still got somebody out there who gonna marry her now while she in prison. And that giving her 26 years shit kind of got on my nerves, but whatever, I'm not even gonna get mad about that, because this story just already got my emotions all over the place. But I digress. I'm gonna let y'all go now, my brothers and sisters. This was another great Mike from That Chapter Wednesday. I appreciate y'all coming on back. As always, before y'all leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And come on back tomorrow. And once again, I don't know who we going to, man. I don't know who we gonna be going to, y'all. On Tuesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't know who the freak channel we be going to until the actual day. But once we get there, we gonna be Red Day. But until then, my friends, I also need y'all to remember this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going.